Yesterday I was talking to you about threats to information security, and yesterday I spoke about malicious software. Then I spoke to you about virus. I told you about spyware, keylogger. Then I talked to you about phishing, and then the next type of threat to information systems is worms. WORMS, worms. Worms are small biological mechanisms which can get into confined places and breed in very large numbers very fast. Actually, worms can get into human body also. It has been seen that when a child eats something unhygienic, maybe from a roadside outlet, some 1 or 2 worms go into his body. They go and get trapped in the intestines, and there they keep on multiplying. In a very short time, a large colony of worms gets filled in the intestine. They consume all the food which the child eats. So mother feels very happy, child is eating a lot of food, his appetite is very good, but the child is getting weaker day by day, because nutrition is not going to the child, it is going into the worms. So then what the doctors do is, they give a medicine which will directly enter the intestines and poison the worms. Once they die, they are ejected out with stools, child becomes healthy. The same concept is there for software worms also. They are also created for that purpose only, that if one worm gets into a system which is not already infected, then that worm goes on creating copies of itself without any control C, control V, nothing. It goes on creating copies of itself, and all these copies are hidden files. So they are filled in all your folders and wherever empty space is there. Now when this happens, you will not see any new files in your folders in the computer or in the mobile phone, but when you check the available memory, it will be very small. This has a lot of harmful effect on the system, because once the storage memory is totally occupied, first problem is that you are not able to save new files. Second, much bigger problem is that operating system actually needs a part of the storage memory for what is called paging. When a large amount of data is needed in RAM, and RAM cannot be that much large, so it uses a part of the storage memory as a secondary RAM. Well, it is not called a secondary RAM, it is called a paging RAM. So some pages of what the data it wants in the RAM, it stores in the storage memory temporarily and fetches them into the RAM on need basis. So since storage memory is totally occupied now, paging doesn't happen. If paging doesn't happen, it means effectively your RAM has shrunk. Once the RAM shrinks, your processing speed goes down. Many apps which need large RAM, like video editing, they will not run at all. So this is what worms do. Worms can enter into client machines as well as into servers, and they do this kind of damage. How do the worms arrive? Most of the worms arrive as email attachments. You receive an email from an unknown source, and if you open it, it gets into your system, and then even if you have deleted what you have downloaded, worm has already entered the system and it continues to replicate itself and make more and more copies of itself. The next kind of threat is spam. Spam, S-P-A-M, spam, is quite similar to what I discussed yesterday in phishing. Phishing generally happens through emails or attachments of emails. But spam is more flexible. Spam can happen through text messages, WhatsApp messages, chats, anything. So the trick in spam is that you send a message to someone so that it looks like a message from someone else. It can be done in so many ways. Example, let's say I have some friend who is regularly chatting with me on Facebook, and somebody wants to take advantage of that. He creates a similar sounding profile, uses the same picture as his profile, and then sends me a message on Facebook Messenger. The message could be something like this: I am in a police station for a traffic offence and I need 2000 rupees urgently to pay a fine. Please send me through UPI. Now if it is from my friend and he is in a police station and he needs 2000 rupees, I will not think too much. I will send it. But actually it is not from the same person. So money has been lost. This can be done through text messages in SMS, WhatsApp messages, or any chat messages from WeChat, Skype, Snapchat, etc. This is spam. A very interesting method by which spam works is to pose as technical support. In every organization there will be technical support person. Here also we have. There is one engineer, he is called Trilok. So he is our technical support person. We call him whenever there is any problem with the system or with the network. He comes and sets it right. So let's say that he asks me for my Gmail password. I give, because he is trying to do some settings, make them all right and all that. I don't doubt him. I have no doubt that he will misuse my Gmail. Now suppose somebody sends me a spam message from same number or from a similar looking number, just one digit change, and with the same name, I may reveal my password again if I am not very careful. So this is how spammers, they are able to siphon out sensitive information from you. Even if you don't surrender the information, still spammers achieve one thing. They keep flooding you with a lot of unnecessary and useless messages for which you have to give your attention, and it wastes your time unnecessarily. The next kind of threat to information systems is botnet. So the spelling is B-O-T-N-E-T. Botnet. Botnet is a combination of two things, bot and net. Bot is a short form of robot. So robot shortened is bot, and net stands for internet. So botnet is a robot, software robot, which has come via the internet. So they enter our network or our system without our knowledge. So once the botnet enters, now understand the purpose of the botnet. This is called the payload of the malicious software. Payload of the malicious software means what is the purpose for which it has been created, what is the purpose for which it has come. The purpose of botnet is to take control of those systems which are on 24/7. Now understand how it happens. If you look at this laptop, it will not be on 24 hours in a day, 7 days a week. It will not be on. My desktop computer in the lab also will be off at night. But what about my smartphone? It remains on at night also, and I switch it off maybe once in a month when a restart is required. Otherwise I don't switch off. So it also has got a processor, and Most of the time, when I am not actively using the phone, like right now I am not actively using, the processor is free. At night, when I am sleeping, phone is on, processor is still free, right? Botnets take advantage of that free time. So during free time, when phone is not engaged in any useful work, they start using the same processor and all the resources of the device for their own work. Generally, this work is mining of cryptocurrency. There are so many cryptocurrencies, most famous being Bitcoin, and others are also there. So those people, if they have to do the mining using their own devices, their own power supply, their own memory, they have to spend money on that. They don't want to do that. A much simpler solution is to put a botnet in other systems. So other systems, when they are free from any other workload, they are working for a remote master. That remote master is getting the benefit of my device. My power is being used, my device is being used, my processing is being used, and the benefit is going to somebody else. You will not know it very easily, because again when you touch the phone and start using, that process is paused. So you don't feel any difference. The only way you can check whether this is happening or not is the data traffic. During idle time of the phone, how much is the data traffic? If data traffic is high, when you know that the phone was idle, then it is a cause for concern. How can you check the time of data traffic? Very easy. Go into settings, go into mobile data, click on data usage, you will get a graph. Time wise, date wise. So that's how it is possible to check whether somebody else through a botnet is using your device or not. Another very interesting kind of threat is DOS. When you write DOS capitals, it means disk operating system. Windows is a disk operating system. But when you write D capital, O small and S capital, it is not disk operating system. It is denial of service. Denial of service threat. Now what is denial of service? I have a website, let us say. This website is meant for what? This website is meant for serving my customers. Like if my site is a e-commerce website, say Swiggy for food delivery, my aim is only to serve the customers who are ordering food on my app. I don't want to serve anybody else. Let's say my website is Indian Institute of Management. My aim is to serve my faculty members and my students. So every website is designed, is created for serving certain users, certain customers. Now, the attack is done like this. If you want to attack a particular website and bring down their activity so that they are not able to earn money, so that they are not able to serve their customers, so that they are unable to satisfy their customers, the denial of service attack is done. How is it done? The method is actually very fundamental, very easy. They create a large number of computers, or they deploy a large number of computers. They could be all in the same room, maybe 50 computers or 100 computers, who are programmed to always connect to this website which we are trying to attack. So 50 computers are there. They are all connecting to the same website continuously. and they are programmed to ask for all the pages in that website one after another in random order. So first computer sends a HTTP request for the index page, home page. The server has to take out that home page and send. It will be generally in the cache memory of the server. Home page will be sent. It's an e-commerce website, imagine. So home page has come. Second zombie computer, it makes a request for web page of denim jeans. That page comes. In 1 second, another zombie computer sends a request for t-shirts of pink color. In another 1 second, another computer from the same location sends a request for Adidas shoes. Now these computers, they are not buying anything. They are just zombie computers. They are robots. They are keeping on requesting pages from the server. So server is continuously now busy retrieving those pages from its storage memory, putting some in cache memory, and going on serving as HTML pages. Whole effort of the server is getting wasted in this nonsensical activity. At such a time, a genuine user, a genuine customer tries to log in. Two things can happen. Login may not happen at all, or if it happens, it takes a long time, and if he tries to complete a transaction, it gets timed out before completion. So what will be the result? Denial of service. This service to genuine customers is denied. So in a short while, the owner of that website will find business has dwindled, sales is zero, unable to earn any money. It's a great loss for that company. So such attacks are denial of service attacks. So how do you deal with it? The only way to deal with this is to identify the computers who are sending such fake requests, and through your firewall you have to block those IP addresses. Then the person who is trying to harm you, he can still do something. He can send the requests from the same zombie computers from a different IP address. So you have to identify that also, and then you have to block those also through your website. So just as a cat and rat, they have to keep on playing. Cat's job is to catch the rat, rat's job is to escape from the cat. Like that, we have to keep on struggling with the cyber criminals and protect our information assets. Another interesting kind of threat, it is called ransomware. 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 Now understand first the meaning of ransom, because ransomware is nothing but ransom software. Soft word is gone in the abbreviation. So ransomware is a software meant for collecting ransom. So what is ransom? Now let's understand what is ransom. There is a rich man, some very rich man is there, and I am a criminal. I want to take money from him. This is my job. This is my intention. That rich man has got a small child, son or daughter, who is just 5 years old. The child goes to school every day and is brought back. So I am a criminal, I have to get money from the rich man. One day, I come in a van. When the child gets out of the school, and before the child gets into his school van, I just lift the child, put it in my van and drive away. I can do that. Once I do that, I start making calls to the fat rich man. Your child is in my custody now. Hear his sound. So I twist the ear of the child, it cries. Father will be able to identify, yes, it is my child. Now I will say, you have to pay me 1 crore rupees if you want your child alive back. Otherwise, after 3 days, I am going to kill him. Now tell me, will there be any father who will say no? Can't say no. Child's life is in danger. So his next question will be, okay, where do you want me to meet you and give you the money? This is called ransom. Ransom. Now don't start getting ideas from this, that this is an easy way of earning money. Why to struggle with the exams and jobs? Don't do that. We are only discussing cyber crimes. I am not promoting you as intending criminals. So, how does ransomware work? Well, ransomware, what it does is, it is also an autonomous intelligent agent. Actually, that is a general statement. All malicious softwares, the technical name we can say is autonomous intelligent agents. They are autonomous because they work without any guidance. They travel from system to system without any guidance. And they are very intelligent also. They can do the work which they are programmed to do. And they are agents of somebody else. So intelligent, autonomous intelligent agent. Ransomware is also like that. It's an autonomous intelligent agent. It gets into your system and it works like this. It comes with a built-in encryption software. So what it does is, it encrypts all the user data in your system. Not operating system. User data in your system. Your photos, videos, Word files, images, Excel files, everything it encrypts. Then it sends you an email. We have encrypted all the files in your system. The decryption key is with us. And to show you that we have the decryption keys, for one folder I am sending you the decryption key. You can try it out. That folder will get decrypted. You will be very happy. Decryption key has come. You enter that. One folder is decrypted. You are able to see the files. Then he sends next message. If you want the rest of the files to be decrypted, you have to pay me equivalent of $50,000. Just like ransom. There, ransom is for a child who is kidnapped. Here, ransom is for files which have been encrypted by them. So, if you pay me a ransom equivalent to $50,000, I will give you the decryption key for the rest of the folders. And if you don't give me $50,000, then 72 hours from now, I will delete the decryption key from my side. After that, you can't get it. So practically, all your data is lost. Now, if I am an individual, I may not bother much. My files will contain what? My files contain Bollywood films, some photos, some PowerPoints which I show you. That's all. Nothing very great. So I will not pay $50,000. No way. I'll say, go to hell, delete your decryption key whenever you want. Right now you can delete it. But if the same attack happens on a company, on an e-commerce website, can they answer like that? No. Because all their customer data is there, product data is there, accounting data is there, their employee data is there. They cannot afford to lose that data. So they pay the ransom. Now, how to pay the ransom? Because if you pay the ransom in dollars, rupees, euros, pounds, it has to go through the banking channel. Therefore, the person who is asking ransom will also specify that I want the ransom to be paid in cryptocurrency only and not in any fiat currency. So he may say you pay in Bitcoin, or he may say you pay in Peer coin, or you pay in Ethereum currency, whatever. He will specify the currency, and then you have to pay the amount in that currency. When he gets the amount in that currency, it doesn't go through any banking channel. And the great advantage which the criminal gets it, you will not know his location from where he has asked for ransom. And he can go to any country of the world, their cryptocurrency is valid. See, dollar can be used in USA for retail purchases. Can you use retail dollar in India very easily? You can't. In a 5-star hotel, yes, they will accept dollars from you. But you go to your vegetable vendor and offer a dollar, he will not take. First of all, he will get suspicious. Is it really money or what? Or if there is any other currency like say Dubai's currency, it can be used only in Dubai. Even in India you can't use it in any 5-star hotel or anywhere. But Bitcoins, Ethereum, Peer coin, all cryptocurrencies, they are international currencies. In any country of the world you can go and start using, and exchange rate is same everywhere. I mean, as far as the purchasing power is concerned, it doesn't change much whether you are in England or in India or in Dubai or in Bangladesh. So all ransomware seekers, they will take ransom from the companies and they take it in cryptocurrencies. Then the next threat is API vulnerabilities. API vulnerabilities. First of all, know the full form of API. API stands for Application Programming Interface. Application programming interfaces, they work on mobile operating systems. In mobile operating systems, their role is same as DLL files in Windows. So first let us understand the role of DLL files in Windows. In your Windows operating system, if you go into the C drive and search for DLL, you will find thousands of DLL files. Not hundreds, thousands of DLL files. And each DLL file has got some specific purpose. The purpose could be like this. Suppose we are using Zoom conferencing app. You have heard of Zoom, no? Zoom is a video conferencing app. So when I click on Zoom icon and open the Zoom app, I want to do some video conferencing. For video conferencing, I have to use the mic which is connected to my system, built-in mic or external mic, whatever it is. I also have to use the camera, again either built-in camera or external camera. But you cannot use Zoom, you cannot have a video conference unless you are able to use the microphone and the camera. Microphone and camera have both got separate drivers. Microphone has got one driver, camera has got another driver. Zoom is a separate app. So Zoom will have one connection with a DLL file. That DLL file will be able to start a process or stop a process on another software which is the driver for either the microphone or the camera. Once that connection is established, Zoom will be able to do video conferencing for you. If that DLL file doesn't work, or is corrupted, or it is lost, or it is accidentally deleted, the entire Zoom app will not be able to do anything. Understand? Yesterday I was doing some experiment on this computer, desktop computer. This particular computer has got a Windows 7 operating system. There is no camera app in that. So I was trying whether I can use the camera app in Skype. You must have noticed that I opened my Skype at that time. When I opened Skype, through this camera I was able to see the image of my hand. Because there I am not using any driver of the camera installed in the operating system. I was using the driver which is built-in driver of the Skype app. So that can also happen, but normal method is a DLL file has to be accessed. So whatever we do as the functionality of a DLL file in a desktop or laptop, the same thing in a mobile operating system, say Android, or in Windows Mobile, or in Apple iOS, is done through APIs. APIs are application programming interfaces. Now both DLL and APIs, they create vulnerability for the system. Just now I told you that if one DLL file is deleted or corrupted, the whole Zoom app is not able to work. So also Cisco WebEx. Skype is still able to work because they provide their own camera app. They provide their own camera functionality in the app itself. But every app doesn't provide like that. Cisco WebEx doesn't have. Zoom doesn't have. Again, Microsoft Teams is having. So, when attackers, they want to attack a system, in a stationary system, in a laptop or in a desktop, the easiest target is DLL file. They find out which DLL file is to be spoiled or corrupted or deleted. Once they do that, that functionality is stopped. Similarly, when you want to attack a mobile operating system, Android or Apple iOS or Windows Mobile, then the attackers will have to identify which is the API. That API, if you are able to identify correctly, you have identified a vulnerability. You have identified a loophole in the system security. And once you do that, you are able to attack that system very easily. In information security, there is another threat which is called breaches. B-R-E-A-C-H-E-S. Breaches are of two types: data breaches and security breaches. So, breaches, I just now told you, is of two types: data breaches and security breaches. First, let us understand what is a security breach. A security breach happens when an outsider gets access to your system either by a system like botnet or by some other system which could be something like a team viewer. I hope you have heard this word, team viewer. How many of you have heard about it? Good, yeah. Now in team viewer what happens? Someone from a remote location is able to connect to your system and do whatever they want. Similarly, in Windows also there is a method like that, remote desktop. You can take control of the desktop of another person, and then from sitting here you can operate the mouse or the keyboard and do whatever you want. And third method is which a botnet can do, that means without any human interface also botnet can do. But botnet will have a fixed payload, it will do only those things which it is programmed to do. But when a security breach happens with a other person at the end, that person can change his action or his activities very dynamically. Now this happens to very large organizations, and one good example of this is what happened at the time of the election in USA, when Donald Trump was fighting the election and the opposition candidate from Democrat side was Hillary Clinton. So at that time the Russian hackers sitting in Moscow had taken control remotely of the servers in USA, and they had manipulated the data. It is alleged that Donald Trump won because of that. It could never be proved. It could never be proved because data had already been altered. So there is no way you can say whether the data was altered by somebody inside or somebody remotely, but data was altered, and this was one case where a security breach had taken place. So as I told you, security breach is a very, very serious matter, but quite easy to execute. As easy like team viewer, as easy like remote desktop. Data breach is different. In data breach, our data is stolen by somebody by breaking into our information system. Just imagine if you could break into the information system of Amazon and get the details of all their customers, what all you can do with that? Enormous profit can be made from that, because there are so many customers and you will get to know their email IDs, their phone numbers, their address locations, card details. So it's a very great breach, na? So like that, when you are able to secure access to the data of a remote computer, that is the data breach. So remember that breach is of two types, data breach and security breach, and the physical meaning of the word breach is a break in the wall. Suppose there is a wall. In that wall there is a small break, 3-foot break. Through that break anybody can enter. The rest of the walls will not be able to protect that. So breach is like that, a small kind of entry point where an outsider can enter into our information system. So I am stopping the class here. The topic will continue in the next class.